Assassin's Promise by Thomas Woodward. Chapter 99. Miele lay against the heavy sheets of the four-poster bed, recounting the night's events. Asric had risen earlier and left. He had said nothing of his destination, nor had she pried. The throes of their passion had kept them well past the time she would have been expected to return to the servants' quarters. She did not look forward to the inevitable confrontation with Mistress Dovell. Even had Asric commanded she come to his bed openly, she would still be held to curfew imposed on all manor servants. Dovell would care nothing for excuses. But she had gained valuable information. Lord Asric had not shared any information in particular. He had not given any names of allies or enemies, but what she had shared with him tonight represented a weakening in his will. With repeated visits, she would have no doubt his lips would be loosened. But she would not employ such an approach. He would seek her out. Indeed, he may command that she come to him. Would she obey? Or perhaps she would antagonize his orders with a refusal. She hadn't made up her mind. The mere fact that Asric had allowed her to remain after their lovemaking spoke volumes of his confidence. He believed there was nothing in his rooms that would betray him. How naive. For a skilled assassin, it would be beyond foolish to give her access to his own rooms. However, the order had not come. Her master had been strangely silent, in fact. Could it be that she was to merely continue gathering information as she had been? She could be exposed any moment now. By bringing herself close enough to touch, she had guaranteed a formal investigation on her background would be undertaken by his spy masters. She smiled at the thought of his touch. He had been all demanding of her attentions. She felt echoes of the heat that had burned between them not an hour gone. She could no longer avoid suspicion. The next move would be sure and quick. What had possessed her to take such chances with Lord Asric? It would take every inch of her ability to keep her from the hangman's noose now. Before she had been nothing, less than an insect for all the attention she drew. That had all changed when she had brazenly intruded on her lord's personal rooms. If she attempted an escape, she would be hunted by her own brethren once word reached the capital and her master. Miele would need to walk the razor's edge and find a plausible cover story that would withstand a full investigation. Or she could simply kill Asric's seekers. It was a pleasant thought. However, it would do nothing to stop further investigations on her. Was it too soon to request outside aid? Taking an even breath, Miele moved to leave the rooms, quickly dressing in her torn shift. She would need to restitch the entire back of the simple garment. Using a hairpin, she pinned it temporarily in place, keeping a modicum of propriety until she could mend it. Miele needed a distraction. Already mentally composing the letter, she would send a message to her local handler. He acted as insurance on her keeping to her business agreements. How she hated the oversight, but it would be a grave mistake to remove him. He would simply be replaced by another. At a time like this, however, the aid he represented could be used to shake her trail and distort the threat to Asric's spy masters. It would cost her, though. She hated losing coin to such a nuisance, but she could see no other way. Straightening the room to give the appearance that no one had been there, Miele left, closing the door silently. She marked the doorway with a strand of her hair, thumbing sealant onto it from a small bottle she kept secreted among her garments. The hair would be invisible unless someone knew to look for it, and would let her know if the room was disturbed before her rounds in the pre-dawn gloom tomorrow. Wetting her lips, Miele smiled in satisfaction. The risk had been worth it. She had not met a challenge like him before. She still knew almost nothing about the man, but that would change. She would learn all his dark secrets. Rounding a bend in the hallway, Miele flushed, meeting the eye of another servant. The servant turned and followed her. No words passed between them. Curse Dovell! The devil woman had sent someone to fetch her. Did the woman never sleep?